ਪੀਂਗਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਉਲਾਰੇ ਚੜੀਆਂ ਟੁੱਟ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਪਰ ਡਿੱਗੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਫੇਰ ਨਾ ਮੁੜੀਆਂ ਪੇਕ ਸੌਵਰਿਆਂ ਛਿੱਕ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਫੇਰ ਨਾ ਮੁੜੀਆਂ ਪੇਕ ਸੌਵਰਿਆਂ ਛਿੱਕ ਖੜੀਆਂ
Every year I come here, right, just to, because we have, it's a homeland in it really, because I'm born and bred in England, Halifax, and this is my roots, so I do come here because of my parents, my grandfather, and everything started from here, so you actually come here just to have a look around, what was your roots and what was it, even though you live in England.
ਪੀਂਗਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਉਲਾਰੇ ਚੜੀਆਂ
Peacock voices break over the distant sawmill hum. Perfect blessings, Pare Shahgazi. My hair is cut, I wear no head covering. Do not believe that I don't believe. Drive past the Carry Sheriff General Store, praying for the saint. Bare feet on cool tile, my mind breathes a prayer. My body dresses and heads for a Bradford bus. 2 homes in one heart, and I am afraid of both.
Mirpur's most famous holy place is Carry Sharif. Sometimes people go straight to the shrine from the airport. They believe that they go over to the UK, to England, because of God and because of the good luck and the destiny that God gave them, and that their social and economic conditions have improved by the grace of God. So they go to visit the Pir Shahgazi, who is this famous holy saint who's buried there, and they visit him just to say thank you very much.
Special thing about Mirpur is the whole community worked as seamen. In the 19th century, we worked on boats, and we were the travelers throughout the world, and most of us decided to go to England as well. One of our earliest relative in 1925 settled in England. While some of us visited him, he provided accommodation for us, food for us, also all the expenses, clothes, everything that we needed he provided for us. It's part of our culture, hospitality.
We work where they will not. We will learn where they refuse. They talk amongst themselves, say we steal their jobs. Yeah, they talk and we work. Father leaves to make money so we can live. Sail with him up the river. He crosses alone with the others. This is the moment when he lets go of my hand, bound for Birmingham. I know I will not see him again. His eyes move between mother and me and my sisters. His eyes hold till we can't see him anymore. Tears all night, mother quiet. She's no help.
Men have been leaving Mirpur for decades looking for work, but what really gave the process of immigration a big shove was the building of the Mangla Dam, and that happened round about in the early 1960s. It's also a reason for why my family ended up coming to Britain. The dam provides nearly half of Pakistan's electricity and half of its water for the agricultural and irrigation of the land. So it's a massive benefit to the nation of Pakistan, but it's actually at a big price to Mirpur.
I know nobody's seen the Judgment Day, but on that particular day it felt as though Judgment Day was looming over our heads. Nobody believed we could trap this water. Some scientists came and they were telling us how to stop this water. I thought I was going to faint. It was so disturbing sight. Women were hugging each other and they were hugging their homes. They were so frightened that they would no longer live here anymore. Family was coming out of their houses. They were crying, weeping, and all the villages were being emptied one by one.
The Mangla Dam in Mirpur is one of West Pakistan's showpieces. 70,000 acres of land were flooded, and over 80,000 people were dislodged from their homes.
When the dam was created, thousands of people actually lost their livelihoods and their homes. So they were like nomads, they had nowhere to go, and if they did have somewhere to go, they'd have to start a new life up anyway. So for them it made sense that instead of staying in the country that had taken their land away, they might as well go and see what they could do in another country. So hundreds and thousands of people ended up in Bradford, ended up coming to England and becoming the workforce that was required.
Hundreds of thousands of foreigners arrive each year in Britain, most to visit, some to study, some to stay for good.
Leaving home, leaving Mayapur, leaving part of myself behind. I took the door off my old house and put it on the new one, before the water took everything. Families walking, moving, praying at Moran Malkan. One last time, our mosques have drowned now, to rise like spirits at the height of summer when the water is low, and we pray there again.
Originally, my family lived down in the valley by the rivers, but when the Mangla Dam was starting to be built, they had to move further up on the hill. They were offered plots of land in Multan and in the Punjab, but they felt they had to stay in Azad Kashmir. That's where their ancestral connection was. In the village that they moved to and the lands that they were given, one particular plot is submerged underwater, so they don't see that for like 6 months of the year, and the other plot is further away from home. And they also found that the land wasn't as rich for agricultural and farming purposes as the land that they lost. The villages that were built were villages that now, to me, because I'm the next generation, they've always existed for me, but for my father, they're new names. Names like Chakswari, like Akalgar, Dadial, and the name New Mirpur, that tells you everything anyway. It tells you this is new part of Mirpur.
All of my family lives in Leeds. Everyone's in England. They're all working in England, and the houses over here in Mirpur, they've all got padlocks on them and nobody's there to look after them.
Padlocks swing on empty houses. This town has turned into a ghost town. All the hearts of buildings have stopped beating. A house is just a house without people, waiting in slow decay to be a home from home. All the hearts are away in Oldham and in Bradford, some kind of home from home. A cracked dry wall calls me. Come home.
when people went to England, their emotions were mixed. There was a lot of pain of separation. People didn't want to see their relatives leave, or their fathers or their uncles leave. So there was a lot of pain. And the phrase that everybody seems to use is Saat Samandar Bar, which means across the seven seas. And it's like going somewhere that you can't reach. On the other hand, people are thinking, right, he's going away, we're going to be rich, he'll be sending money back to us. So there's a definite reason for this happening. It's not just happening because they're going away.
If you visit one of our villages in Mirpur, you'll find they are very, very nice. People have got all the facilities here in Mirpur. For example, telephone, electricity, good roads, toilet, bath facilities. Everything is in absolute first-class condition. It's as good as Islamabad.
Coming home with a suit for each, with bags of socks for everyone. They come from miles around for English socks, bought on Rochdale Market, made in China.
As well as sending money back or building homes, a lot of people invested money in business. Often you can tell what the businesses are because they've been given English names, which seems really out of place in Mirpur, but also it can be quite funny. One of the names is London Tailors, there's Wakefield Shoes, and one that's actually quite well known, I think has been going quite a few years now, is Topman Tailors. And there's another one, British Jewellers. And there are a lot of businesses for those coming and going, like travel agents, banks, currency shops, and a lot of new mosques as well, like in Dadial, have been built with money from England.
You and I see through all colours. We are bound beyond blood and family. We are not lost in all the names of God. Facets of a diamond show the unity of light. We are husband and wife in diamond light. More than love or children, more than company, skin or race, torn cries of peacocks, fullness in an empty bowl, in noise, in silence, in stillness, in motion. Say it your own way, but always know Ummah.
We've received dead bodies from England, and two of my cousins have died in England, but their bodies were sent to us here in our villages. In one case, his wife in Birmingham and his son and daughter are in Birmingham, but these people are buried here now. I mean, this is not right. Dragging them over here doesn't do them any good.
ਟੁੱਟ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਪਰ ਡਿੱਗੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਫੇਰ ਨਾ ਮੁੜੀਆਂ ਪੇਕ ਸੌਵਰਿਆਂ ਛਿੱਕ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਫੇਰ ਨ ਮੁੜੀਆਂ ਪੇਕ ਸੌਵਰਿਆਂ ਚਿੱਕ ਖੜੀਆਂ.
There's a big difference between weddings in England and Pakistan. The biggest thing that you notice is who gets invited to the wedding. In England, everybody gets invited, but in Pakistan, it is much more introvert. You invite the immediate village and your immediate family. At the end of a wedding, the bride, on her rukhsati day, we call that day, when she's leaving her home, she says goodbye to her family, and she gets put in a dulli, which is literally like a red cube, and she's lifted onto the shoulders of 4 burly men, who then carry her to her next home, which is very different to England. You get 4 tyres in a car. When I got married in Pakistan, a friend and I got into the dolly together. She was like my maid of honour. But because I was marrying a cousin, a first cousin, it was out of the back door and into the front door for me. So it was just kind of doing it for making sure that all the traditions were covered.
It's nice to be on the way home, but this is a list of the things I'll miss. McDonald's fillet of fish, I eat them two at a time. Coronation Street, Guinness, but please don't tell anyone. Gathering for a minute before work, pie and peas, bacon eaten in secret, and sitting in Broadfield Park with an ice cream.
Since I've been in Mirpur, I've not done very much. The highlight of my trip has been going on a boat on the dam and having a Kit Kat and a Feast Bakery.
Some young people go back to Pakistan for the education so that they can learn Urdu and English, so they're bilingual, really bilingual. Some people go back to Pakistan to get married. That's quite a large reason, actually. That's a major reason. Some people go back just to visit roots, visit their family, see what life for their parents was like. Some people go for respite. They've been ill and they go to Pakistan just for a change of scenery and to get better and to be pampered and loved by relatives who haven't seen them in a while.
Just different.
We're British. To them, we're British, so we're apart, we're separate. We're not one of them. They treat us like, some of them treat us like with kid gloves, you know. They're British, be careful, fragile sort of. And some of them treat us like, oh, they're stupid, stupid from England.
It was boring at time first because it's like slow life, it's like slow in it. It's slow, no traffic, all animals all over the place, no racket, there's no transport because we're used to England. Everything there is like you're always moving, it's fast in it. Over there, slow, look, slow life, slow life, slow life, slow life.
I like the weather, I like the people. It's my own country, that's why I like it most. It's like you can, when you're in England, you can't speak freely to somebody because there's always like, you know, racism and things like that. Here, you're not scared of anything. You can just do what you want, sit with who you want. You know, you can just speak to anyone you want, and they're so friendly here as well. Well, when I came here at first, I used to wear the big flares and big clogs and everything, and they would laugh at me. So like, don't wear that. People think you're really stupid. So after that, I became like just like them, dressed normally. Nobody can tell that I'm from England or from Pakistan unless somebody, like my relative, somebody knows that she's from here. Otherwise, you can't really tell.
They call Mirpur Mini England, and the other thing is, whenever you go to Mirpur, you're bound to meet someone who's from England. They can tell just by looking at us that we're from England, you know. Our style, our way of walking, the way we shop. We don't bicker over prices in shops like they do. They make a lot of noise when they shop.
our elder people are very keen to come back to this area, especially where they were born. Their sentiment is always home, sweet home. The problem with younger people is so most of them, majority of them were born outside Mirpur. The people who were born in, for example, like Bradford, Birmingham, Batley, I mean, their home is where they were born. And their parents, they assume that once they've spent their money on their homes, their children are going to come over here and live here. The children who were born outside Mirpur, they belong to the place where they were born. At the moment, there's a big generation gap between the elders and the younger people, and the problem is getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Home is still home. I promised myself I would always return, leaving to get work. I never thought that 50 years would pass so easily. My daughter will not come home with me. England is our home, Daddy, she says. At the airport, I hold my children and grandchildren with my eyes till I'm blind with tears. Across the punch, all the trees have gone to make fire for bricks. More and more building. Farms are underwater. The house where I was born is underwater. The dam has changed everything. I hope they will visit.
Pinga ਬਹੁਤ ਉਲਾਰੇ ਚੜੀਆਂ ਟੁੱਟ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਪਰ ਡਿੱਗੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਫੇਰ ਨਾ ਮੁੜੀਆਂ ਛਿੱਕ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਫੇਰ ਨਾ ਮੁੜੀਆਂ ਪੇਕ ਸੌਵਰਿਆਂ ਛਿੱਕ ਖੜੀਆਂ